Hello and welcome into episode 3 of Bettors. My name is Jaric Rubel. That is Jake Elder. And today we're going to be breaking down the Pacific Division in the NHL. And kind of what we've been doing here before the season starts is, about twice a week we've been going through specific division in hockey. We finished the Eastern Conference. We started with the Metro, did the Atlantic, and now we're going to kick off the Western Conference with the Pacific Division.
Yes, as he said, we're going over the Pacific Division today and our predictions of how we think they'll be finishing, and also some player bets along with that at the end.
Yep, stick around for that. We got some team futures, player futures, a lot of interesting stuff going on. And starting October 12th, we're going to mention this at the start again. We're going to be live 7 days a week, 3 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. every other day, as we're going to break down the slate of games every single day in the NHL. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you like what you're hearing from us, make sure to hit subscribe, hit that like button because it'll help in the search results. Leave a comment. We want to know what you guys think. And follow us on Twitter too, at Royal Bettors. Our individual Twitters are in our little, picture boxes here. So without further ado, Jake, you want to get this one started? We're going to start from the bottom spot all the way up to who we think's going to win the division.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to say we're going to give you winners every day.
We
One
are
of
going to
us is
give you
going to have one,
winners. Like,
but
I had a rough playoff last year. Like, I'll be transparent with that, but I was up 34 units in the regular season. Like, that's pretty good. And I like realistically, it was like 70 something because I hit a dry saddle hat trick prop. But I don't know. That seems super out there. If I were to have the record I had with plus 70 units, I don't know.
yeah, that was. But I was just going to say, I don't know. I feel like me personally, I mean, you probably do the same, but when we talk about games, we go based on like straight up our knowledge. We don't do
It
stats
is.
like anything. It's
Like
just
the only stats I'll do is once in a while I'll go on covers and see a couple trends, or I'll look at the expected goals against and goals for, because I think that makes a difference, especially in 5-on-5 play.
yeah. But other than that, we just look at a team and we're like, I
Like
feel like
me and him,
oh,
in front of me I have a computer, a monitor, and a TV, and I have games on all three every single night. I watch this sport religiously. It keeps me happy almost.
yeah. All right. But
So
yeah, sorry for the sidetrack. We'll get into the
no,
Atlantic
you're good.
Pacific
Pacific.
division now. And bottom feeder team for the Pacific. I mean, they're really not that bad of a team. It's just I don't know, just can't put it together. But we both have the San Jose Sharks.
Like See, I want to put the Ducks and the Sharks together because everybody knows the Ducks are next. Come on. So the
Yeah,
Ducks are gonna be seventh.
very
But
true. But
my
you got
reasons go hand in hand. The teams okay, the Sharks may have a little bit more flashiness in terms of Burns, Carlson, Couture, Meyer, Hurdle, but they're gonna be the same kind of team in terms of how many games they're gonna win. Aiden Hill's your starting goalie. Oh my god. Like I I would be the Ducks are going to be better than the Sharks because I could trust John Gibson to steal at least 10 games, maybe more.
yeah. I mean, everyone's
That's all there is to it. I know the Sharks are probably the more talented team, but they're not going to be able to keep the puck out of back of their net. If Aiden Hill stinks, that's going to be a team where you're going to want to see overs all the time, and you might see 6.5. So it's going to be hard.
yeah. No, I like the overs for. I don't see how a game could go under with them, to be honest. But that, like you said, Burns and Carlson, but those guys are their offense, not even their defense.
Carlson's not happy. Carlson wants to win. It's dude, I know you kind of got traded to San Jose, but you signed a massive extension. They signed Kane to a massive extension. They signed Meyer to a big extension.
Is
They
Kane even
just
gonna
signed.
play?
No, did you? Okay, did you see he's getting investigated for forging a vaccination card?
What?
Dude, this guy has everything wrong with him. Man,
Hey
I
man,
don't think I don't know if Kane ever plays in the NHL again.
yeah. Sharks are just a. I mean, they'll be fun to watch. Lots of goals,
That's what
but
I'm saying.
like they'll
They're
be
gonna
more
be the
fun
late
than the
team.
Ducks. The Ducks are
Like
gonna be the unders, and you're just gonna have to. They're gonna be
I'm
fine.
curious if the Ducks are going to be as good on the road as they were last year. Remember the +1.5s, how much they came through last year?
Oh yeah, literally like.
And they were always close to plus money because they were such a heavy underdog.
Yeah, that is a
Like they
good.
were almost flawless with like all their road games were 1-goal games. It was crazy.
We don't need to spoil too much, but yeah, the Ducks are next, and I don't even. Yeah, I got a
You want to
picture.
give your reasons? I kind of
Gibson
touched on
here.
both teams.
Yeah, like he said with the Sharks. I mean, we got the Sharks down there, but Ducks. Gibson's gonna. He's gonna put up a fight for him. Makes no sense because like he doesn't have much of a team in front of him, but for some reason when he's playing, it's just a 2-1 game written all over it. Like every game. It happened too many times last year, and like with Vegas, there was like I'm pretty sure they played a few times, but well, they played 8 times last year, right? In that division.
I'd say around 8 times. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. I swear 3 of them were 1-0 games. And it was the Ducks winning them too. It was
They
weird.
were, and all the games in Vegas were close. Like
Yeah.
I always bet Anaheim on the road, and in Colorado, I even had the stones to do that. Like, I don't know, man, but
They'll
I'm
still be
gonna
down there at the
I'm gonna
bottom.
switch. They are. I mean, they just don't have the goal scoring. They really don't. Like, I hope Troy Terry can prove he's a stud. I hear they're still in the mix for Jack Eichel. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna switch things over here to number 6, and this is a team I think just they should have sold already, but I know that they're giving their coach another year with the team because he wasn't there for a full year. Calgary Flames, number 6, and man, like I said, I know they're giving Sutter a shot, with a full season here, but it's only a matter of time before this gets blown up. I mean, Kachuk, Monahan, Goudreau, those could all be trade deadline targets for teams. I mean, even in the offseason, they could make a big splash to maybe get way more assets for them. I mean, on paper, the offensive talent looks like it's going to be really good, but they just
Yeah.
can't put it together.
They're one of the teams me and you have been talking about for like 3 years now of like how are they good, but they're always great. They've been they won the division 2 years ago?
Yeah,
Like
I was really high on them that year. I remember EJ.
I was
I had
just
a tweet. A
confused.
tweet of mine made it on NHL Network, and EJ thought I was kind of being crazy. I said Goudreau was going to win the Hart Trophy, and the Flames were going to be one of the best in the West, and they were the first in the West. And Goudreau had his career year. He wasn't a Hart finalist, but he had the best season he's ever had.
It's just we always look at them, we're like, I don't understand what makes them so great, but like
Elias Lindholm's going to be good. I'll
always
tell you
up
that.
there. And then Markstrom, if Markstrom would have hit for them, but like he clearly didn't.
Like I think he's still like okay. I don't think Markstrom's a bad goalie. I just think it's a fact that I say Zadorov's the third best defenseman. I know people want to argue it's Rasmus Anderson. Like
The
it's
door.
roll the dice that they're not really any of them that good. And I think that their defensive core is so weak
And they
that
just lost their captain, so
yeah, exactly. Like I just think it's gonna be another situation where San Jose, where it's like overs could be a good spot for them. Like they're just gonna have a hard time keeping the puck out of the back of their net. Like first period overs might be really good. I don't think a lot of people are ever gonna look at Calgary, to be honest. Like forever in the NHL, they're a team that just like goes under the radar all the time.
but I don't know. I'm not gonna be following them as an under the radar team. I'm gonna be betting against them,
No,
but
I'm just saying is in like nobody talks about them under the radar.
oh
Like they're
yeah.
just kind of there.
I feel like they're like the Minnesota Wild for like the past 10 years. They just kind of fly under the radar and
Have a
play.
couple good years and then fall back down to earth.
So, but I hope they do sell because I mean we'll talk about it more at the end. But they're plus money to miss the playoffs,
Like
and
some of
I
these teams that are it just
I
doesn't
think
make
they
sense.
have a 1 in 6 shot to make it because I think the top 2 are locked in, and only one team. I don't think 2 teams are making it from the Pacific, but
In the wild card, yeah.
yeah, I think that goes all to the Central. But we'll see how
I
that
would
goes.
agree with that. I think one of these teams would really have to like have a 8, 9, 10 game win streak to have a good shot at that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there because
Yeah, I said the Maple Leafs won't be able to do that with Campbell again. We'll see. What
oh yeah,
Campbell won like 11 or 12 of his first
11 of
starts.
his first ever games. Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
All
so
right.
Calgary locked in at 6 for both of us.
So we actually that's some minor
This
switch,
is where,
but
nah, it's okay. We need a little transparency. Is it
right.
transparency? I don't think that's the right word.
You want to go first?
Sure, the Kraken. You got the
I
image.
cannot. I cannot
Look
find
at
an
the
image of
fellas.
them
Look at the
playing
lads.
hockey, but
Those road white jerseys.
yeah,
Guys,
bro.
they're so sick. They look so good on the ice too. But like, I don't think the Kraken have the firepower, and like, I think they could start off all right and like be, kind of middle of the pack Pacific, kind of where I have them now. But like, they could be in and out of the playoffs. I mean, both goalies last year had defensive juggernauts.
Yeah,
Grubauer was in a
and
defensive
offensive
system, and
juggernauts.
they really were. So it's
Like,
like this is a whole different animal for them here. And granted, they're in a weaker division, so they'll probably settle in a little nicer. But man, like Grubauer and Juju, like they're good goalies, but I think that they're gonna be in for some rough nights here and there, especially against teams like Vancouver and Edmonton, who I think are really gonna be able to score at will if they stay fully healthy. Like I like Seattle, right? Like I want to root for them, but they're plus money to miss the playoffs, and I just don't see it. I know Yanni Gore's not 100% right now. He's gonna be their top line center. Like, hey, all I'm gonna say is if the Blackhawks are in it and the Kraken aren't, they got to make a trade for Colin Blackwell.
you're still big on that.
Dude, that's my guy.
Yeah, about the Kraken, I guess I'll speak on them. I actually have the is this my Kings victory? Yeah. I got the Kings at number 5. And my reasoning is, I mean, Seattle's gonna fight in games. So are the Kings. I think they'll be right next to each other. I don't see much difference in them. But with the Kraken, I do have them above the Kings, but I think they're going to be a lot more inconsistent. Like that team's going to have to learn how to meld together. And I don't know what was up with Vegas and how they just connected.
Gerard Gallant effect, baby.
It's probably
First year winning the division.
Vegas just seemed to run teams over that year, but
They
I don't
still
see that.
do. So
Yeah, I don't see the Kraken doing that. But I guess we can talk about the Kings more because we do have that flipped. I have the Kings below the Kraken just for the fact of I think the Kings have that upside, but I just don't know if it'll be enough to. I think they'll be inconsistent too, to be honest. I mean, last year, they went on a
yeah,
few hot streaks and then cold streaks. And I just don't see that changing much, but they got young talent, they got experienced guys. I like Cal Peterson, Quick still there. Like they have the perfect meld of veteran players and then the up and coming.
youth. Yep.
Yeah.
I think the Kings are going to make some noise. Now, I don't know if they're going to get into the playoffs, but like they acquired Victor Arvidsson from Nashville. The big one I really liked was Philip Deneau from Montreal, obviously. And then like the second overall pick from the 2020 draft, Quentin Byfield, but he just got hurt. So he's banged up for a little bit right now.
Did?
And you touched, yeah, he did. I got a
Last
notification this morning. I saw it this morning.
dang. I was watching the game. He was playing.
Dang. I mean, you
First
touched on Cal Peterson and Quick's right behind him. So it's like you still got a world class goalie behind Peterson and Quick. I mean, Quick's obviously not what he was 7 years ago. But I mean, I think Peterson's really good. His first ever start was against the Blackhawks. I remember thinking we'd annihilate him because he was an inexperienced goalie, and he lost 2-1 in the shootout. But I mean, he's been good here and there, especially last year at the Kings. I like the numbers he put up. And I think they're probably one solid defenseman away from, but at least really being a wild card team. And I also wanted to say, like, with Doughty, Kopitar, Denault, Sean Walker, McDermott, like they got a lot of good defensive guys that I think this penalty kill is going to be really up there in the NHL. Like I think they're really like defensively, like I think the Kings are going to be solid.
That's a good point. Yeah. It's just we struggle to look at it because, like we said, we think they have the 1 in 6 shot to make it because
Yeah.
I feel like there's the top heavy 2 teams that are gonna make it in. But
Well,
yeah,
reality, they have a 1 in 3 shot because the other 3 go to the Central Division. Well, okay. Well,
I'm
I
saying
kind
1
of
in
see
6.
what you're saying. Yeah,
There's
I
only
do see
one of
what you're
these
saying.
teams from the Pacific will place top 3.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean also.
Yeah.
It's there.
We're still waking up.
Yeah, literally.
Oh,
But all right, top three. Which
this is
this one?
consensus.
Yeah, this is consensus. But having, I mean, I don't know. Okay, well, we'll go with them. We have number three. We have the Canucks.
They're here, baby. I don't know if how long they're gonna stay here, but this roster is pretty damn good.
Very like because a year ago or 2 years ago, we were talking about them being the top team in that division. Like,
See, like I'm not to say my prediction anymore, but a couple years ago, this was before the bubble run, even with the Canucks. I was like, it's going to be them versus the Rangers in this year's final. I don't think that's going to happen, but like, there's still going to be two fun teams to watch that'll probably get into the
that was
playoffs.
before playoff Demko showed up, and we're like,
What's
oh,
funny is I've been big on a 1993 like theory this year in sports, and like that final was 1994. So it's like, oh, next year 1994. Let's just move it over.
now that the Blue Jays lost, yeah,
I know,
you're
but the
sad.
Cowboys and Bills, oh, don't do this to me. I got months to dwell on that.
Blue Jays should have made it. That
They
differential,
should have
they
at
had
the
like a
Yankees.
plus 150 differential
And they
compared to
played in three different home ballparks this year. Like everything they did was so deserving of getting in. Like they dealt with so much, but that's neither here nor
now the Red Sox are going to get clapped by the Rays, but we don't need to talk about that. What we do need to talk
there.
about really quickly is, I mean, you probably saw my story, but Rizzo and Schwarber both homered. And
I
like,
know. I cashed a Schwarber bet. I'm kind of upset I didn't post that because I remembered. I don't know why we're talking about baseball, but enjoy the quick intermission before we get into the top three. 2015, the wild card game, Cubs and Pirates. He mashed one off a Cole into the Allegheny River, and that's
dude,
all I was
literally,
thinking about.
yeah, Megan, I was with Maddie's family, and her older sister's boyfriend said that exact thing. He's like, oh, Schwarber did that against Cole and with the Pirates when he sucked. And I was like, yeah,
Yep.
crazy. All
All
right.
right, but Canucks.
Yeah, back to the Canucks.
Like here, you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
You can go.
All right. Like last year, I liked them. Like we both just said that before we went on the little baseball tangent. Like they
They
got
didn't.
kicked around with injuries. They had a disastrous COVID spell, and they just couldn't keep the puck out of the back of their net. And I don't think that's why another reason why I'm down on Dallas, and I'm going all over the place right now. But like Holtby, like he was back with his goaltending coach. He won the Stanley Cup with in 2018. They were both now in Vancouver. He's disaster. Like if he can't get it back together with them, I don't see him getting it back together at all. And like I don't think the Canucks have a terrible defensive core. Like they added OEL, who's more of an offensive presence, but like
Who's the backup for Demko?
Yarrow Halak. Like I'm sitting here thinking, like I just have the Canucks, I think, above the Kings and the Kraken, mainly because they're gonna score a lot more goals. Like they have the best center depth in that whole division, if you ask me. Well, I guess behind Edmonton. I mean, you got Pedersen, Besser could play center. You could have Bo Horvat, who obviously is a center. They brought in Jason Robertson from Dallas. Like this, JT Miller could play center. Like they got a really good group of forwards that could insane depth down the middle.
Yeah,
And Quinn Hughes, I think, will have a bounce back year on defense. Go ahead.
yeah. I like the team all around. Every position is like covered, and I think they're a step ahead of the other five teams. And like you said, you named all those players with great
Like
players,
it's the
great
Pacific
depth.
Division. Like that decor doesn't wow me, but I think the offensive group will get it done in this division.
Yeah,
It's like if you're gonna have the Oilers getting in, like I think the Canucks on paper probably have a deeper roster than the Oilers do. It's just the Oilers have a lot more elite point getters in the regular season.
I like to talk about the Oilers. So we'll shadow over to that.
Number two,
Number two, we got the Oilers, and so with the Oilers, I think they got it all except for goaltending. And I was thinking about it literally right before the show. I was like,
I
they
was
had
thinking
anybody.
about it last night.
Mike Smith is not the answer, but the
Neither is
reason,
Miko Koskinen.
yeah, well, I don't even count him. I'm starting starter. But any goalie besides Mike Smith, the reason he looks so good is because the Oilers can score whenever they want. You want to
They should
score, you
trade for Anton Hudobin. I know it's another older guy, but I think if Dallas has to make a
yeah,
decision, 'cause they got four goalies if Bishop's
yeah.
healthy.
Because like I think that's literally all they're missing. They have defensemen, they have offensive defensemen, they got defensive defensemen, and I mean they don't have third and fourth line depth, but when you have that McDavid and Draisaitl lines, like you send them out there and they'll score, and then they go up 2-0, and then they just play defense like for the rest of
That's
the
what
game.
a lot of what they did last year. Like a lot of
Yeah,
those under games, they went up like 2-0 early, and then they just
like
locked
if
it
you
down.
paid attention to it, like they would go score in the first period, and then second and third period they just stand around their own net and block all the shots and don't
And
let
I
any.
think that's a big reason why Mike Smith was successful. Because once you
Yeah,
saw they had to pick up their pace in the playoffs, we saw Mike Smith just one game and start bashing his
yep.
stick and getting the playoff Mike Smith.
Yeah, they're not a playoff team though. I
No,
will
like
never. Every year the playoffs come around, you go watch those YouTube videos of predictions, and people are like, "This is the Oilers' year. They're gonna do it." I'm like, "They're no different. What's different than the year before and the year before and the year before?"
you
Like,
guys ready for this? The numbers probably changed since like I saw this about halfway point of last year. Without Connor McDavid on the ice, the Oilers as a whole, since he's been drafted by them, or maybe since like 2018, are minus 180. That's terrible. That means when he's not on the ice, they've allowed 180 goals. And I don't know what his plus minus is exactly off the top of my head, Kerr, but you just look at it and you'll see insane difference. Like he
yeah,
makes everything in the world on that team.
I
And
don't
that's kind of
understand what.
why
Yeah, I don't get what's
that's kind
stopping them from building a team around him either. I
well,
don't
they
know.
have two guys making I don't know. The Hawks have three guys making about 10 million, so they can make it
Hey,
work.
Duncan Keith though on the Oilers.
I know. Just got his first vaccination shot. Anyways, um, I was gonna say about the Oilers. I say this every year. They're a fantasy hockey team, not a playoff hockey team. They're gonna be
100.
good enough to get you in and into the playoffs. They're gonna have probably 105 points in the regular season. McDavid and Draisaitl are gonna be talked about for the MVP of the league. Like, okay, the defense could be okay. Clefbaum might not play ever again. Like that guy might retire.
Who?
Tyson Oscar Clefbaum.
Yeah.
Tyson Berry, like he's gonna be great on the power play, but he's a defensive liability nowadays. I mean, they're gonna probably try and pair Keith and CC together at some point, and that's just not gonna work. Maybe Evan Bouchard takes a step forward, but like, oh man, if Mike Smith can't, like, if they're not at all the defensive structure they were last year, like over
Man,
City, like I
how
still
old
think
is he?
38, 37,
I
he's
was
up
gonna
there.
say, I feel like he's just gonna follow the same as every other Hawks player we trade away when they're old. Like, I feel like they're just gonna retire. Like, I don't know. He'll probably play, but like,
Like
I don't see him wanting to play for another team. Like the
the
same as.
more like we just kind of like talk this out on here, like I think the Oilers and the Canucks are almost in the same boats where they could be like teeter-tottering their position in the standings for most of the year, and then it's just gonna kind of make a difference as who's gonna have the better stretch down April.
And then they play in the playoffs no matter what, because I think they're
That's
the two,
I yeah, this is
and the
the
Canucks
one
are
like
gonna win, and that's I'm all in on the Canucks. I just think the Oilers are gonna make the playoffs and then lose first round.
speaking
Like,
like touching on the Canucks then, like Thatcher Demko was really good in the playoffs a couple years ago, but was that a product of Vegas just going cold again in the playoffs, or was he really that good? I mean, Mark Stone, I remember he gave him all the props in the world. He gave him a big tap on the chest. He's like, man, you were insane. Like, I couldn't score for anything. And the whole team couldn't. Like, because I remember I had to do like a mini documentary for school on the return of sports.
yeah, and the type thing.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right,
So
well,
Canucks 3, Oilers 2. That leaves
our
one
division
left. And I think
winners,
that anyone who clicked on this video probably assumed it would be these
the
guys.
Gold Helmet Gang.
Fun fact, our friend Melissa Cunningham, over on Twitter at mcunningham33, she keeps track of these gold helmets. And I think they were like 12-3 to the under last year. It was something crazy. So like
Yeah,
when they wear
'cause
the gold helmets,
see,
unders,
it's 'cause the other team can't see when those gold helmets are on. Like, just light
right?
reflects
It's that
off of them.
reflection. Yeah.
I'm serious though, dude. Like,
I
like, look
know.
at them.
Look at him. Look at back of Pacioretty's head.
Yeah, you can see the whole entire arena. Like,
Oh man.
but yeah,
I'm
Vegas.
I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. You want to give? You really like Vegas, so
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They kind of scare me now because if I think about it, Fleury was unbelievable. I mean, he
I
won
know. But
Vesna.
like, see, I know this is where I'm gonna really get torn to because Leonard was good with the Highlanders, but that's a Barry Trotz system. And then he was pretty good here. I'll give him his props here. But then he's good back in Vegas. Like I don't know how he's gonna be as a sole number one, not with a good structure. Like I don't know. We'll see
And
how
you
it
can't.
goes. But
And Vegas knows you can't get to a shootout, so I don't know how
yeah,
that's gonna.
he didn't he. You sent me a tweet. He said he's still working on those.
Yeah, it was like he was talking about something, and then the guy was like, "Hey, man, as long as we don't go to shootouts," he's like, "Hey, I'm working on it." Like he commented back to the guy.
That's a good live betting situation. If Vegas ever gets to a shootout, the other
Yeah,
team's a good price. Probably
hopefully it's
hammer
not
that,
like. Hopefully the books don't know that. And then
right?
next thing you know, they play the backup. Whoever, I don't even know who's the backup this year.
Oh, is it Brossois? I think it's Laurent Brossois.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Well,
So
because
yeah,
sometimes they're always like throw the backup in when Leonard is in for
he
any
did that with
Hawk.
the Hawks a couple times. Crawford, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say the
They put
Hawks did it.
Crawford in
Vegas
there.
never did it. Vegas just took the L for some reason. Probably why they
All right.
lost the President's Trophy last year by one.
Well, like I said, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet with Vegas. Like I think they're the cream of the crop in this division. Like they're far and away above the rest in terms of complete team. They'll play a full 60 minutes. Like I think Robin Leonard will be all right. I think Vegas probably gonna contend for the President's Trophy. I
Yeah,
think
that
they're
was
gonna be.
they're the
What's up?
one team. That was a good point you made. Like I think they're the one team in this division that plays a full 60. Them or the Canucks. The Oilers do not play a full 60. I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, we'll
The,
see what the Canucks. I think they could get around to playing a full 60, but I could also like that. That'll probably be later on. Like I could see it being a little rocky defensively early on
yeah.
for them.
But Vegas plays a full 60 minutes. They'll beat you down and
Like they have the easiest regular season setup too. I'm like going off the page here. I don't know what I'm doing, but like I mean, being the Pacific Division, you're playing these guys, for close to 40% of your schedule. And I mean, I trust these guys out on the road to, win out east and beat these other teams. Like they could hang in there with the Tampas, the Floridas, the Colorados, obviously. So I mean, we'll see what Toronto does. I don't know if I want to consider that part of the league's best yet.
yeah, no. Other people probably will, but can't get behind it. All right, you want to get into some future bets for this division?
Yeah. So you want to give
Well,
our
actually,
little
I'm going to show
you
this
got a little
first.
order? Yeah. So
Yes,
there's our
sir.
order of how we think the Pacific will play out.
Once again, pretty
And
similar because we talk a lot and convince each other of what we think. But
but that's okay. Like it's well thought out though, because like I promise you, these conversations go on and
yeah,
on.
this is two minds put into one, basically.
We had a 26-hour trip essentially, one way and then the other way back, and we were breaking a lot of this down,
Yeah,
jamming
just
out.
talking away. But
All right, so
you want to start or me?
I'll start things off here. And Stanley Cup future, the Vegas Golden Knights. Now it's like they're the only team I think you could bet for the cup in this. Like I can't do the Oilers, man. I just
Yeah,
can't. Like the Canucks, maybe like that might be something I tweet out later on in the season if I see more that I like from them. But it's just like Vegas plus 700 for the cup. Like the way it's set up, they're gonna get to the conference final, and again, like who's gonna come out of the Central? Crapshoot. I don't think
yeah,
Colorado's a lock. So I mean, Vegas probably a good shot at getting to the final. I mean, like I hate that I'm a big underdog guy, and I can't really find many cup favorites that are high prices here. I kind of like St. Louis, but I really also don't like what they've done. And they brought in Peter Chiarelli, who I'm never going to support.
yeah. The Avs are like you said. The Avs are kind of similar to the Oilers again. Like you got your main mans, and I mean we'll see how Darcy Kemper does. But that's for tomorrow or
I didn't even
whatever.
mention Darnell Nurse on defense for the Oilers. I'm so sorry. He's going to have to carry the weight for them. And he's a really good defenseman, but
Yeah,
he'll be
like the Oilers have it all.
solid.
They are not winning the playoffs. 100% making the playoffs, no doubt in my mind. But they are not making it far.
Not past the second round. I could see somehow they beat Vancouver, but
Yeah, or whoever's in that third spot. But
I just don't think they're due for a deep run yet.
yeah, not yet, not yet. But did you get in any future bets? Oh, you said Vegas to win the cup.
Yeah, I don't have the odds for the President's Trophy in front of me right now, but I
I
do
got the
like them for the
President's
President's
Trophy.
Trophy. Okay.
I got that one. I don't have the cup though, but Yeah, Vegas to win the President's Trophy is plus 600, and out of like we were talking about, they have the easiest competition, like for in within their division, I believe. So, and they're playing them majority most of their games. So, what's to say they don't win the President's Trophy this year? I think they should have won it last year, like I said, but that's
What was that
probably
tiebreaker? Some
it was
whack stuff.
literally like yeah, because point
Was it
differential.
ROW or point differential? Okay,
Dude, I
point
swear their point
differential.
differential was the same. I swear, because it went to the third thing, and I was so confused. I'm like, what are they gonna go to next? There was something.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was OT winners, I think.
Yeah, so regulation overtime wins, right?
Yeah.
That's the main tiebreaker. That's what it always is, I think.
I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
know. Either way, winning the President's
Enough of that.
Trophy, pretty
All
good
right, I got
odds because Tampa and the Avs are above them for sure, in like the odds books. Probably
I got some
Florida or Toronto. Okay, go ahead.
team futures to make and miss the playoffs. Canucks to make the playoffs plus 145, and I think that's really good value
And
for the Canucks. And I think it's a lock.
I want to go with plus 170 on FanDuel.
There you go.
Makes
Yeah,
no sense.
all my ads are on DraftKings. I don't know. Like I don't like having. I know
Yeah,
I
no,
have
I
to put
looked at
money in my account, but like I don't like the idea of like having a lot of my social. I don't know. It just doesn't
yeah, no, it makes sense
sit well
because
with me.
I have like when we first were doing this, I put all my money on DraftKings. I made all the bets, and I'm like, I'm gonna go look at FanDuel, and the odds for FanDuel are just broken compared to DraftKings. I don't know what it is, but like they're just plus 30, like 30 off, like completely,
So
like 30 times how much you bet.
like you guys
Uh,
shop around in your books. Like I get the idea of shopping around. I just don't exactly like have a lot of books set up. I don't know. I'll get around to it one of these days. But I got two more Flames to miss the playoffs plus 125. Now I think this is a best bet. Jake had the Penguins to miss the playoffs as his best
I
bet a
was gonna
couple weeks ago or a couple shows ago. Like I think the Flames are a train wreck. I don't think they're going to be worthwhile whatsoever. I think they're going to sell off at the deadline. I think they're going to be just a complete mess. I the Flames are no.
Yeah, I don't even think they have they don't have a chance. I don't know. We
Like they're
have them
gonna be
down.
one of those teams like you're gonna be like yeah, you're gonna be watching people just like question everything they do by the time it's mid-season.
Yeah, 100%. Um, I wanted to say because you talked about with the how big I was on the Pens to miss. I'm almost just like I wrote down how much money I have like bet for each one, and the Canucks are in second with to make
Jake's
the
5 unit max play.
right? The Canucks to make the playoffs, it's plus 145 and plus 170 were the two books on for DraftKings and FanDuel. And I just, like I've been saying, I don't know. I think they are the number 3 team. I think it's locked in there, or they're with the Oilers all season. But I think the Oilers are a seasoned team, so they'll do good. But Canucks are they can do it. They can surprise people too, and I mean, I don't know. They could win the division. I don't see it as a outthought. I don't know. Do you think that's going beyond?
I see it hard for Vegas not to win it unless Leonard gets hurt.
True, but
I don't know.
I like them to make the playoffs. I like it a lot.
It's
And
weird though because Vegas a couple years ago finished third, just when yeah in 2018-19. So it's like that was the last time we had a full 82. So we'll see.
yeah, yeah, I also have the Flames to miss the playoffs. And then I mean, yeah, I thought you'd be kind of bigger on this one too, but I guess this is similar to the Flames, and you think the Kraken are better than the Flames, so it makes sense. But the Kraken to miss the playoffs is plus 130, also basically right around there with the Flames, and I don't see them doing anything near what Vegas did, and I don't see them being
Yeah,
able to win. Like, I don't think they'll be a streaky team.
I think
I
the
think it'll,
flame kind of dies by January.
yeah, they'll just be like win, lose, win, win, lose. Like, I don't see them being all that special, and they'll
Like
miss
you
the play.
might not even want to like back them on sides. Like you're just gonna kind of be like, ugh.
They're going to be hard to bet. I think they'll be very good at home, and I think they'll suck
Yeah,
away.
I think that's a good point. Like, I think it's going to be a total standpoint with them. How many goals are just being scored in those games?
That is true. Because they're gonna have to play defensively. I don't see them
I
scoring
think
much
they
goal.
will. I
Yeah,
don't
I don't think
either.
I think those are under games all year, but watching them, I know it's preseason and you can't really judge anything, but like they were playing the starters and stuff. But them at home, they have a different energy. Like I watched their
And that's
away
not
game.
even in their like main arena, right? That
Yeah,
was like
no,
in
it's
some
just with,
college
like,
arena.
home fans, like, just having home fans there cheering for you, and it was their first game at home, so maybe that's why they had that energy, but, like, because they were down 2-0 going into the second period, and they had, like, a 4-goal second period, 3 or 4 goal second period, and it just when they scored 1, their momentum carried, but that's preseason, so I guess I can't make much judgment off of that.
All
Do you
right,
have any
so
other
we're both on. Yeah, Kraken to miss the playoffs plus 130 is what I got, and I got some player futures.
Alright, go ahead.
All right, well, some of these probably won't be much of a surprise, but I'm just gonna go ahead and like I'm gonna have different Art Ross winners obviously posted on my Twitter throughout these little season preview videos. I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and take McDavid at plus 100. Like nobody else is gonna beat him unless he gets hurt. Let's be real. Like I want to at least have a winner in this regard, and the fact that he's not like minus 120 or anything more, like McDavid's gonna put up. How many points did he put up last year in 56
Yeah.
games? Like he's
Oh, he
gonna
had 100.
could he could get like 150 this year. Like I don't even think that's over exaggerating.
Yeah, no, I see it. It
Like the guy's
just
like 2 points per game,
yeah, no, literally. And I mean, if he plays with Hyman, that's a
right?
I
Hyman's
like
gonna be like another random point, but I accidentally auto drafted my fantasy team last night. And I forgot all about it.
Yeah, dude, I was wondering. I'm like, no way, he's auto. I saw your name. I was like, oh, that's Tower of Pain. That's got to be Jaric, and just auto drafted. I was like,
Dude, like I wanted Bennett, I wanted Verhage, I wanted Hyman, like oh well, Atkinson.
I don't
Oh
know.
well.
All
Anyways,
right.
Draisaitl for the Rocket at plus 750 as well. Like I think McDavid will just be feeding him on the power play. I don't know. I think Draisaitl will probably finish with more goals than McDavid. Could be close, but I mean, just they're both offensive dynamos. I mean, I'll probably end up throwing a bet on Draisaitl to win the Art Ross too. I just don't know the odds off the top of my head. I mean, all those guys. I mean, 100 plus points, 35 plus goals. Like it's gonna be the
It's
fantasy
just
hockey team.
yeah.
Like I say,
It just
and I,
sucks. Like you can't find depth picks behind McDavid and Draisaitl for like those trophies. Like I don't feel confident betting anybody else, but I'm not gonna bet
Braden
McDavid
Point.
and Draisaitl. Braden. Well, yeah, but like I threw $2.50 to make like $70 or whatever, $50. But like I'm not confident in that. Like I'm
Yeah.
hoping that it happens, but they're just juggernauts and they're gonna do what they do and they'll be leading the league and everything.
All
You
right,
got
so
any more?
I got one last one. It's Leonard for the Vezina at plus 1500. Now he's probably the only Vezina caliber goalie in this division. Like Mike Smith's not getting nominated. I don't think that Demko will. Peterson and the Seattle guys, no. The only way the Seattle guys would is if they're somehow a really good team.
Yeah,
And
but
I like
they're gonna be splitting too much to be.
exactly. And Leonard with Brossois behind him, I would imagine Leonard probably plays close to 60%, 60 of the games out of the 82. And, if he puts up good numbers, that's another reason why I like Hart. It's like if those guys put up really good numbers playing close to 60 games, I don't see how they don't get Vezina recommendation, especially if we both think they're going to be up near the top of the division.
Yeah, I picked him in the draft yesterday very early, but I guess
And
I should have left him because you were the only one that would have taken him, but you weren't even there. But I just picked him early when I was
yeah,
like,
dude,
I don't know.
I'm honestly butthurt about that. Like, my team's bad too.
Is it bad? I didn't even look.
Dude, like I looked at it like, oh, your team was good. I looked at yours. I was like, yeah, Jake drafted.
Yeah, dude, I liked my team except for Tyler. You remember last year how I accidentally picked Kane number 2 overall and
Yeah.
Settle and that whole thing? I'm sitting there, and so Liam came to the game, the volleyball game, and he bumped my arm, and it made me pick Tyler Sagan. I was like, fine, like I'll take it, but like not when I wanted him. But
Right.
it's just funny that 2 years in a row I get bumped into picking a wrong player.
Yeah, dude, I'm a little bummed about that, but that's all my player futures. You got any for
Get a
you?
little sidetracked. Yeah, well,
Hey man, it's okay. At least you could tell we're kind of being genuine.
yeah, literally. I got nothing. I don't have any player futures. I guess I could have found some, but
Yeah, I got one for you, McDavid to win the Art Ross.
yeah, too obvious. Too obvious. Not good odds. I don't want to put money on that. Hey, last year I had Austin Matthews to win, and he was actually like plus 250 or 240 or something.
That
But
man, like he could, it's like he's gonna win the Rocket, maybe. Like I could see him scoring
I just
50
don't
plus
like.
goals.
I don't like Toronto, so
I
I'm
know.
off him.
He's the only one. Like him, like I don't trust Martin. Like Matthews is the only guy I like on that team. I don't know.
Well, when I say I don't like Toronto, I'm not like those other hockey fans that like don't like them because they're Toronto. I don't like the team. Like
Top heavy.
I literally like every team in the NHL because I like the NHL. But
Right? Like I'll
I look
even
at
watch the
Toronto and
Blues and the Red Wings. Like
yeah. But I look at Toronto and like the Oilers are similar. They're not playoff teams.
they're
They're
not.
both score goals, play some
What I
defense.
do think is gonna help maybe Toronto if they get in is the fact that they could go to a different goalie and not know he's gonna suck. It's like I don't know. I think having Mrazek behind Campbell or vice versa is gonna be nice to an extent than having like Hutchinson behind Freddie Anderson.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know. We'll see what happens. 8 months in the future. But
right. All right. I think that
is that
wraps up
all?
I think that wraps it up for us. Our little Pacific Division.
All right, you want to put our little standings on the screen once more?
Yeah. Final standings
All
again,
right.
and that should be it till we do the Central, which maybe we can clickbait our next video and have like the Hawks in first.
Right. All right, so I'll be sure to put out my futures bets on Twitter at Jaric_rubel11. I'll retweet them at Royal Bettors. I'm sure Jake will do the same, maybe at least when the season starts. I know he hasn't exactly been putting out his futures, but that's all right.
Yeah, no, you got a little following base from hockey betting. I don't got that,
Hey,
so
that's why we retweet you. we got some little people that'll help us out. But yeah, so you make sure to give the Twitter a follow at Royal Bettors. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like what you heard. Give us a like, comment in the comment section. And let's just help grow this baby as the season goes on. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna preview the Central probably. See, we got concerts Friday and Saturday, so it's like
I'm thinking tomorrow,
interesting.
but I don't know when you work. We don't need to talk about this on stream.
We don't. We'll figure it out. We'll put out a tweet. It'll be sometime before Tuesday of next week. That'll be for certain. And then from there on out, it'll be 7 days a week, baby. So
Yep. All right.
that's Jake Elder. I'm Jaric Rubel, and we have been Royal Bettors. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Wednesday, everybody. And if you're watching this as a video, thanks for sticking around till the end.
Yep. Thank you.